Welcome back to the Frizz and the Grease podcast with your hosts, Prudo and D.
Hello and welcome back to another installment of Frizz and the Grizz. It's your boy Trudeau, and you're joining us live on Tuesday, November 7th, or maybe tomorrow on podcast, Apple, Spotify. Give us a follow, guys, if you're watching live. It's good stuff. Good show today. Going to be a lot of basketball. We're going to break out a new game inspired by PTI. What's the word? We have our gambling picks. Guess what? Both of us profitable this week. Double wins for us. And we're going to wrap up with a little NFL action because we love a little football around here. But first, D, what's good?
What to do, baby, man? Happy Tuesday. You kind of like brushed over it, but the picks from last week, they were good. We were good. We were good. Finally getting on a little bit of, I guess get some good momentum because I've been getting my ass absolutely whooped when it comes to betting. So it was good to have a good week.
I feel like you're still searching for the number one pick with your record, but hey,
I mean, yeah, overall, but still, you can a win's a win, and that's what we were able to get.
Yeah, so we'll get some picks for you this week. And a lot of basketball. It's been a really fun first couple of weeks. We didn't have a chance to talk about any basketball last week. Both of our teams off to interesting starts. We'll get to that when we get to that. I know you're a Lakers fan, so we'll talk about that later on. But anything fun for the week for the people?
This past week, what to do? It was Halloween, right? Since the last time. Oh no, we did our show on Wednesday. My bad, man. It's a long week, so no, I really do shit. The first November, the first Saturday in November happened. LSU unfortunately took the L. We're not really gonna get into too much college football, but like that was a game that it went back and forth. It was really good until I think LSU scored first drive, Bama scored. LSU got a penalty that made them have to punt, and then Jaden Daniels got hurt the next drive. So like it changed the entire game. But I'm not saying they lost because of that. I'm just saying it just made it a different game because it was very exciting first half.
I think I jinxed you because as soon as they scored that first touchdown, went up 7-0, I just texted you, go with the X, go Tigers. Go Tigers with the Ed Orgeron voice. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Go Tigers. I mean, they look good and their offense is really good. Their defense struggles. But like they looked really good. They had the lead, post second quarter. And it's just all it took was one penalty. It was a holding penalty that made them have to punt. Bama scored, and then Jaden Daniels got hurt literally that next drive. And it's like that changed the entire way that the game was going to go.
I made a terrible decision this weekend, and I bought tickets to go to a show with friends. I didn't check the venue, like what type of venue it was, and it was at a nightclub.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, I am too old for that shit, man. It was are you familiar with Dylan Francis?
No.
All right, it's electronic artist. He came on the stage at 12:30 at night, my man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude. I was hurting. And we were by far the oldest people there. I'm like, what? Everyone was like 22. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
I would have been knocked out. Like bartender or waiter would have came over and be like, nah, man, I'm good. You're going to have to, you're wasting your time. Go to another table.
That's when you realize you're old. You look around, you're like, oh man, it's officially happened. I had that come to Jesus moment. By the way, I had two things. One question I want to say for maybe the closing takes.
Okay.
Do you want like a question movies or a question about just
movies.
existential stuff?
Movies, because I don't know where you're going with the other.
Hey, I've been getting spammed by commercials this week for a horror movie called Thanksgiving. Have you seen the commercial?
I have seen that. Yeah. At least I saw the commercial for it as well. Yeah.
Just for those who aren't aware of what Thanksgiving is, the K is a knife. So it's like a rated R movie, and it's like some dude dresses up like the Scream, but instead it's like a pilgrim, and he just murders people. But not only does he murder people, but he's murdering people with like Thanksgiving objects. So like in the trailer, he like stabs some chick in the neck on both sides with corn on the cob holders, and she dies. And I'm just like, this is the epitome of corny ass holiday movie.
Hey man, they're trying to fit that movie into a category for Halloween, for Christmas. There's how many Thanksgiving movies are there? Can't really say that there's too many, so why not, right? Why not?
I want to see the follow up with this with the Easter Bunny just murders everyone.
That'd be hilarious too.
They did make a movie like a Santa murdering people movie last Christmas.
That sounds terrible.
You're
Absolutely
on
terrible.
Santa's naughties list, and he just murders people. Boom,
Terrible.
it's excellent. All right, let's talk some actual sports.
I give you a credit when you do good things, but I can't not knock you when you mess up, bro. How you do that? How you get the intro song in there for that?
The tequila's hitting already, my man. Tequila's hitting
Man
already.
took one sip and
I
can't
just
control himself. Oh, hold on. By the way, just because it's coming back up and you're talking about drinking, but there's like a rehashing of like how Four Locos were. I don't know if it's just my
oh man,
feed,
I
but
sent
I'm
that.
getting
I think.
so much. What's that?
I think I sent that shit to you. Like,
Maybe, but like I'm getting so many like retweets or just reshares of people bringing back up how bad Four Loco
what do
was.
you mean
Like,
bad?
no, what I mean by that is like it was great.
Yes.
And I'm talking to the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the genre that was able to literally two hand break the cans open and chug. I don't know how you did it and you're still here, but
Uh,
I mean, kudos to however your liver was
Four
back when we were
Four
in college.
Locos, and like there was not only there was Crunk Juice, right? There was the spinoff. You heard Crunk Juice? It's the same idea.
No.
It was like juice flavored malt liquor with tons of caffeine. There was Crunk Juice. There was a couple other knockoffs of Four Loco, but good God, those are the greatest fucking thing, dude. My junior year of college, I survived on those things. You get two, you're feeling like so. The secrets: the first Four Loco, you get a nice buzz. The second Four Loco, you're fucked up.
But
Oh
you would chug them.
yeah, then you get that.
Literally two, and then like that would be like pregame. That
Yes.
would be just before we even before we even start
Yeah, I don't.
drinking. It was I just crack open a couple of Four Locos.
What
Sorry, I
purple,
know we went off the cuff
purple
for
Four
that, but
Loco,
you
right?
brought up your
Purple Four Locos, right?
It was
Purple.
purple or fruit punch, yeah.
Yeah. They were the best because like no matter how inebriated you got, like it was almost like you were cracked out where you couldn't get sleepy because of the caffeine. It was amazing.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
kept you up.
I miss them. I missed them. I actually had them New Year's
Yeah,
like
but they took the
7 years.
caffeine out for a reason.
They took the caffeine out and I got so sick and vomited everywhere.
Mhm.
Anyways, that's why they probably got rid of it. Let's talk some basketball. We're gonna play a game called What's the Word? It's inspired by PTI. I don't know if you're familiar in the audience, but I told you about it. It's a game they play where they have a phrase and there's a blank and you fill in the blank with the word. So I think we have a couple. D wrote some for me. I wrote for some for D. We're gonna do NBA themes, kind of a way to get into the NBA season. So I want to start off coming at D hot because I know
Okay.
my man loves the Lakers. D, your first phrase. LeBron should feel blank about his on-off splits. And to preface this, I know I told you about his on-off splits. I'll get the exact numbers because it was astounding.
Mhm.
He is, where's my text to you? On-off splits for LeBron. On the court, plus 47. Off the court, minus 70. So, like, they're super efficient when he's on the court. Off the court, minus 70. That's, I think, in 7 games. So,
Yep.
minus 10 per game when he's off the court. How should LeBron feel? He should feel blank about this.
I hate to say this, but I'm gonna keep it as one word. That word is discouraged. 38, 39 years old. Like I keep saying, eventually Father Time is going to catch up to him the same way that it caught up to Brady. Like there was no like slow dip in his performance. Let me explain this. There was no slow dip in Brady's performance. He was a Super Bowl contender, a NFC championship when he was with the Bucks, and then it just dropped off. And I get that same feeling with LeBron where he's outperforming his age clearly, right? He's averaging 25, 8 and 6, but he can't be on the court for 48 minutes. And if he does leave the court, you have to rely on AD, which Anthony Davis isn't playing bad, but now it's that third tier superstar. Austin Reeves is not performing the way that we all wanted him to. He's right around that 15, 16 points per game. It'd be great if he was closer to 20. D'Angelo Russell is the key that's supposed to be that third superstar, and his defensive inefficiencies are terrible. His shots right now are not the greatest. He's shooting an awful percentage from field goal and from three, and that's hurting the team when that second wave comes in. So I would say that he should feel personally discouraged. The Lakers should still feel okay. Granted, I think they went through a gauntlet to start the season. Nuggets, Suns. Granted, they did get a win against the Suns, but like they played a lot of tough teams to start the season off, and they didn't do too well, obviously, against the Heat last night either, though.
My word is aggravated.
Mm. Did you just play a sound?
Yeah, I want to play a
Okay.
little after the word.
Okay.
I think he should be aggravated. I mean, like you said, he is what, 38 now?
Yeah, I think 38.
38, 39. He should be aggravated. He's clearly still top 20 player, top 10 player in the league, dominating at this age. It shouldn't be his team. It should be other guys supporting him. He should be aggravated. He's doing all the heavy lifting. What was it, plus 38 when he's on the court, minus 70. He should be aggravated at the teammates that.
Oh, did I lose you? I think you froze. Give it a minute till he jumps back in. But essentially,
No.
I'm with. Oh, there you go. I think you're kind of coming back.
Where's AD to support him on this? He should be aggravated. And I think this is a huge red flag. I texted you, I think after the third game of the season with the Lakers, I'm like, this is super concerning. Oh, it was the Lakers Magic game. I watched it because Lakers were on the second half of a back-to-back. And I'm like, all right, well, they're going to sit LeBron AD because they don't want to overuse them. And if they do play, I figured 25 minutes max. 38 minutes. 38 minutes in a back-to-back. This is not sustainable for the Lakers. And this should be a huge red flag because while LeBron's keeping them afloat now, he's going to miss time at some point. And if they keep running him down like this, they're not going to make it to the finish line. That's the goal.
Yeah, the finish line, like I think I had said, was it 50 plus wins? I think that was my projection for them, was to try to get those wins. Not looking so hot now if they're running. Yeah, like eventually they're gonna have to sit LeBron and AD. They're just gonna miss time, scheduled time off, right? Especially because he doesn't have to worry about getting affected by any awards because of his tenure. So like he can miss time without it being a big deal and him making like all NBA teams if he still cares about that. But essentially that's the second team that needs to be able to step up. And the depth that I thought they had, it's just not showing as much as it did when they were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I'm trying to find their current over under because I know it started 47.5. I don't think it's posted anymore, but I can't imagine that over under is very high now. It's probably around 45.5, 44.5.
Yeah.
It's going to be a battle, man. I mean, they're going to probably end up not a top 3 seed. Top 4 would be like their ceiling at this point, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm not feeling too great about the Lakers at this point. All right, D, hit me up with another one.
All right, let me see if I can get you one. Give me a second to find the banner here. I'm gonna go with a really good one to start. The Western Conference as a whole should feel blank about the Denver Nuggets start.
Threatened. They should feel threatened. It's the defending champs. They started 7-0 or 6-0. They lost only to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The one thing that is a concern is that just today, Jamal Murray's taking some time off. He got injured last game. He was feeling some knee soreness, and then he played through it, hurt his hamstring. I don't know what he's going to be like, or like how many weeks he's going to be out. This might be a multiple week injury. And that's the only issue. If Jamal Murray comes back and he keeps humming, the Western Conference should be concerned because they're the defending champs. And a lot of people had said maybe they have a championship hangover and they're looking closer to that Warriors team that won the championship and then came out the gate and juggernauted everyone. What was it? 73 wins?
73-9.
Yeah, they look a lot like that team right now. And Jokic is the greatest player, in the league at this point, the best player in the league, and they should be worried.
Yeah. I mean, you stole the word. You said threatened. I was gonna say essentially the same phrase, like scared. This is not what anybody was expecting. The Nuggets were under the radar as the best team in the NBA all of last season, and you were like, all right, there's no way that they could just do the same thing again. And they're like, no, we're not staying under the radar. We're just gonna come out and punch everybody in the mouth. Granted, I think there's something wrong with Anthony Edwards because they beat the Celtics and they beat the Nuggets, which is hilarious. What's up?
No, they have the best defensive rating in the league. Timberwolves. No joke.
Oh, I believe you. I'm just saying it's funny that the two teams that were the last of the undefeateds, they got beat by the Timberwolves. I was just side note for that one. But essentially, they're like you were mentioning with Jamal Murray essentially missing some time. Like we may see them come back towards the pack. Instead of winning 5 straight, they may win. They're going to go 4-1, something like that. But Michael Porter Jr. is playing incredible. Aaron Gordon is continuously playing great. Like they have players that are just wanting to win. And they have, I think they got filled in with KCP, championship pedigree, which helps. Reggie Jackson is an incredible defender. So like they're doing the things that you're supposed to do as a defending champ. They're not waiting for people to target them. They're going out there and saying, no, we're the best team in the NBA. We're still the bull here.
Yeah, I thought they'd fall off too. They lost some pieces in the offseason, but guys like Christian Braun stepping up, and other guys are around them. So at this point, it looks like that it's going to be what people thought potentially is the Celtics Nuggets, and that'd be a fantastic finals. Obviously, there's a long way to go, but those two teams have clearly separated themselves as the alpha dogs in the Eastern and the Western Conference. All right, I have a good one for you.
Sure.
The Suns, Phoenix Suns, should feel blank about their 3-4 start.
Because it's the month of November, I'm going to say they should feel thankful. And what I mean by that is they better be counting their lucky stars that they played the Pistons and they played the Jazz. Because if they didn't, they would be 1-4 and everything would be going crazy right now. Like they beat. Well, I mean, let's just say if they just didn't play those teams,
Okay.
right? Because they got those wins. I don't want to sub it in and say they would have got losses. Just if they didn't have them on the schedule, they would have started 1-4. And the teams that they lost to, twice to the Spurs, we're not expecting them to be great this year, but they have Wembanyama, obviously. They got beat down by the 76ers. Like, it's not like they're just like hanging on or barely scraping these wins together. Like they got beat by the Lakers, and we know that they're kind of struggling. They don't look good. They don't look good. And we talked about it's going to be KD, it's going to be Bradley Beal, and it's going to be Booker. And then who else? And that's showing right now, especially when they go against teams that have length, and that may hurt them in the long run when it comes to deficiencies on the defensive side. You can put up 35, you can put up 30, and you can put up 30. In a league that averages 120, 115 per game, you still need a fourth, fifth, and sixth man, and they just don't have it.
I'm going to say the Suns should feel ashamed about their 3-4 start. I was thinking of different words as you were talking. I was thinking about anxious, but I think ashamed because two of those four losses were against the Spurs, who we thought would be a bottom 5 team. One of the games, the Spurs literally stole the ball from Kevin Durant and ended the game. And the second time, Suns are, I think, a 9-point favorite, and they get beat by like 20. They should be ashamed. This is not what they expected. And I think this is kind of actually what low-key we should kind of expect of them. Not 3-4, but people talking about the Suns as a championship team may have overstepped themselves because what did we say coming into the season about the Suns? What's their biggest concern?
Defense
And injury.
Depth. Yeah. Well, yeah.
They are super highly built around their top 3 guys, Beal, Booker, and Durant. All 3 of those guys have a history of injury concerns, all to different degrees. I think Booker's probably been the healthiest of the 3, but obviously KD missed a whole year and he's been out in spurts, over the past 2 years with injuries here or there. And Beal, I mean, he's good for like 40 games a season the past couple of years, and
he hasn't played this season yet.
If they want to be this championship level team, and granted, when all 3 are together, right, in very limited time, they look unstoppable. But if we're going to see this carousel of injuries throughout the season, this is what they are. And they had, like you said, the opportunity to start the season with a soft schedule of a lot of teams that you thought would be in the lottery, and they should be ashamed because they're sitting at 3-4, and they should really be more like 5-3, even with the injuries. So it's not looking good. And the Yusuf Nurkic trade, man, like he ain't doing bleep. Like he's not the dude that they are hoping he'd be. And Ayton's looking much better of a player right now. But I know they had to do it because of the chemistry. But still, it's not good, man.
No, the Suns. I mean, granted, Beal hasn't played the whole season. I know I try to slip that in there for you, but they're going. This is what happened with. I'm not throwing shade by any means, but I said last year you can't be a team that turns it on if you're not a championship team. If you don't have that championship pedigree, Kevin Durant, sure, right? Like he got his chip. He went to Golden State. Booker hasn't. Beal hasn't. No, Eric Gordon, Grayson Allen, none of those other guys. They don't have the ability of just like, no, we can just turn it on right before the playoffs. Like you gotta establish how good you are in the regular season with this type of team. because when it gets to the playoffs, it's too late, right? And I said that with Boston because it's like they had Brown at the time, Tatum, and I think it was like Horford was like their best third player. And it's like, no, we'll just wait till the playoffs. We'll just wait till the playoffs. You can't do that. You got to get hot before that comes, because if not, you're gonna limp into the playoffs, and then you're gonna get beat by somebody that doesn't deserve to beat you. And that's what they're doing to start the season.
This Sun team feels awfully similar to the Brooklyn Nets teams of KD, Kyrie, and Harden, where like there was so much hype. Like end the season now, they're so good, and I think in totality they played 11 games together as a triplet.
Something like that.
It was such a small number, and this Suns team actually is probably has less depth than that Nets team had. So it's super concerning. At this point, like, yes, they could turn it around if they get all their guys back and they start clicking, but I don't feel comfortable with them even getting to the conference finals with a team like the Clippers, who we're going to talk about in a moment, improving. It's not looking great right now. I don't want to overreact because it's 7 games, but I think injury history is a real thing.
I mean, it comes back and it will bite you in the ass at the wrong time. And this isn't a team that, like I said, I don't think you can just get to the 3 and 4 seed and just like assume a first round win. I don't think that they have the ability of just doing that, because Beal hasn't. I mean, what has he done in the playoffs? Granted, you got Devin Booker when he wants to be the best guard in the NBA. He is, right. He can score, and you have Kevin Durant. But it's what's after that. You need something, and you can't just rely on 3 guys in the playoffs. When the court shrinks, the teams can focus in on your deficiencies, which is for them depth and defense.
Yeah, and you mentioned if they finish as a 3 or 4 seed, right? That means they're probably playing in the first round a team like the Mavericks or the Lakers, or maybe the Grizzlies go on a hot streak when they got John Morant back and they finish as like a 7 or 8 seed. You know what I mean? Like it ain't easy sledding, man. It's going to be a tough uphill battle for them. All right, D, your next phrase.
Yeah, kind of a segue into it, because you were just talking about the Brooklyn Nets of 2 years ago. But James Harden will blank the Los Angeles Clippers this season.
Raise the floor of the Los Angeles Clippers this season. And you gave me an ugly look, like, I don't know if you don't like the phrase, but for me, I don't know if you saw the press conference with James Harden when they asked him if he would fit into the system.
And he said he's the system.
He is the system. He is a system.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the beauty of having James Harden, and you saw that this element with Philly when they played the Celtics and Embiid was out, is that when all else fails, James Harden can just go nuclear and be an offense. And I think that's important for the Clippers, where you have Paul George and Kawhi again, and we're hopping back to the injury thing, but we know historically those guys are going to miss batches of the season. Like, it's just guaranteed. Chalk it in. So when these guys go out, and if it's in a pivotal playoff series, and you have James Harden, who honestly, despite him being out of shape most of the time, and we joke about his fat suit, he's available a lot of the time. He plays a lot of games, and if you have him there, at the very least, you have someone who can operate an offense and keep a team afloat. I really like his addition to the team, him as an addition. If nothing for the fact that if things go bad, you can at least count on him to keep you guys afloat.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like that, huh?
So I'm gonna go complete 180 and say James Harden will 100% close the window for the Los Angeles Clippers this season. Look, you brought in one of the league's best players of all time. This is not going to work. There were players that were already, and look, words are great. Facial expressions tell everything. And there's a video that was circulating around James Harden walking into the locker room and Terrence Mann being like, this fucking dude. Like, I have him on my team now. I got to deal with this. And that was the first day. And then there was the weird, awkward, hey, brother, how are you doing? Great to have you back on my team, with him and Westbrook. It isn't going to work out. I'm so glad this is here so that I can see, although I love my guy PG, Paul George, one of my probably one of my favorite players of all time.
Is he your goat?
No, but he's one of my favorite players of all time, dating back to when he was PG-13 in Indy, like pre-injury. That was my guy going up against the Heat. But I think this is going to absolutely sink the ship of the Clippers. It's just one game. We don't want to overreact, but we know how bad the Knicks are right now. People joking around saying Julius Randle is on tour because he's 3-14, 7-14, 20 for he's 2 for 31. Have you seen these things of people posting his like field goals and it looks like a concert like tour? It's hilarious. Yeah. But they lost to them. Not only did they lose to the Knicks, James Harden was a -18 when he was on the court, the worst on the team. What I'm saying is, yeah, you think he might find this way to get back into ISO James. And I'm telling you, he don't have it no more. Not only does he not have it, but there are 4 guys on that team that need the ball in their hand to be dominant. And there's only one ball, unfortunately. It's going to implode so bad for them.
We'll see. I mean, I understand why Terrence Mann was giving him a side eye because Terrence Mann was the center of trade rumors for several months because of James Harden. So he's probably looking at him like, bruh, you almost got my ass traded out and you're going to take my my usage rate. Like, what the hell? And Rusty's probably looking the same way. Like, I sacrificed so much to
get away from you,
be in this team and be like, find a role for myself. And now you're going to come in and probably jettison me to the bench. But I think the addition will be fine. I think, again, he will provide boost when the 2 other stars are out. And I think the interesting dynamic we'll have to follow is he going to bury his ego? Because part of the reason why he wanted out of Philly, it seems, is that he didn't like sharing the shine with Embiid. You know, I remember after the playoff series with the Celtics when James Harden went for 43. I think it was 43 against the Celtics and won that game 1 and Embiid was out. And he was asked, how does it feel to be the how does it feel? And he's like, it feels good to be the old James Harden. So like clearly he likes what he used to do in Houston, and he didn't love to share the spot with Embiid. Will he be able to vibe with the other LA Clipper guys and Paul George and Kawhi? We'll see. But again, it's one game against the Knicks. I know you want to laugh at the Knicks, but the Knicks are supposed to be a top 5, top 6 seed in the East. They're a good team, and
the Clippers were supposed to be a contender.
Right?
So.
They just came together, man. It's hard to play pickup ball in the NBA. They'll figure it out. All right. So that one's a TBD. I like the addition. You don't, clearly. Moving on. You have one for me?
Yeah, last one. No, that one would be. We could do this one. That was you were supposed to do yours, but we can flip it. We can just do the one that's already here.
All right, give it to me.
Yeah. So this year's Rookie of the Year race will be
over by December.
Wow.
Victor Wembanyama is that dude. Like, I know Chet Ubetcha is fun. He's cool, but Victor is this whole nother animal. And we saw him explode for 38 against the Suns in a big win. And he's been doing some incredible things defensively. He's making guys second guess the game of basketball. They are afraid. They don't know what to do. And he is just that much of a fun player to watch. And I think even if it's somewhat close between him and Chet, let's say it's like a coin flip, they're going to say, well, Chet is a second-year player, and Victor is doing things that are way cooler to watch and way more impressive than just the raw numbers of Chet. And the one thing that I was going to gave me pause to bet on Victor for Rookie of the Year was, what is his usage rate going to be? Or not what is his usage, but what are his minutes? Because I know when he's on the court, he's going to get a lot of usage. Mm-hmm. How many minutes would they actually give him? Because there was rumors of him playing 50 games or 45, less minutes. And after game 1, I think the first game he played was 23 minutes. I was like, uh-oh, this could be a problem. But since then, he's been playing a good dosage, 33 minutes, 34 minutes a night. And he hasn't missed a game. If they're going to give him this type of workload over the course of 65, 70 games, I don't think this is even a chance for anyone else at this point.
Look, I wasn't saying that he wasn't going to win it. I think it's a good phrase to use. If you think it's going to be over by December, I'm going to go ahead and say this year's Rookie of the Year race will be LeBron Melo-esque of 03-04. What I mean by that is we're going to be locked in. We're going to, for 82 games, we are going to be battling and seeing who is going to be the rookie of the year. When it was Ja versus Zion, we were like, when Zion's on the court, he's rookie of the year. Like, it's just simple. And I think this is one of those, you're just going to see two guys that are going to try to pull their team into winning, and they're going to have very similar stats. What you're saying about the way that Wembanyama is affecting the game is 100% correct. But what Chet is doing efficiency wise with his touches, with his time on the court, while he has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's essentially the star, he's the all-star on the team, all NBA player. Big shouts to Shai, great job. But
Is
like,
it
you're
Shea or Shy?
Shay, it's Shay. I rather pronounce it Shy, but it's Shay. His mama call him Shay. I'm gonna call him Shay. No, essentially, LeBron had the better season. No, LeBron had the better hype, right? I think he had 20.9 a game, 20.9 a game, 5 boards, 5 assists. Melo had 21 a game, 6 boards, 3 assists, and a better winning record. So he technically had a better season, but we knew that it was going to go to LeBron, like you're saying, if it were close. And I think this is going to be that type of battle where Chet wants it. I can promise you, he's like, no, I want to win this shit. I didn't get a chance last year. I want to absolutely like dominate this. And Victor's like, no, this is my game. Like, I got this. So I think it's going to be an incredible race. One of the best that we've seen in quite some time.
I don't know what Chet's 3-point shooting percentage is right now.
I can check for you.
You can check. He's shooting 50% from the field, 90% from the line. So he could be a 50-40-90 number right now. I mean, it's small.
Currently 53.8.
So he's 50.
He's a 50-50 club right now. 50-50-90 right now.
I mean, obviously, over a larger sample size, that's going to change. That's super impressive. I think one thing to consider as well is if it is razor thin, what are you laughing at?
Sorry, just something that came up from NBA.com. Yes, it's a small sample size, but who do you think is leading the NBA in 3-point percentage? Just off the top of your head.
Grant Williams.
No, Dylan Brooks. Grant Williams is up there, but they were talking about shooters, and they were like the snipers of the NBA, and it was Dylan Brooks number 1. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
What is he, 1 for 1?
Exactly. No, go ahead. It's just funny that you're talking about shooting, and it made me think of it.
No, I was going to say if the margins are razor thin, like really hard to distinguish, I think some voters will look at the team's winning record, and I don't think it's going to matter that much. But if the Spurs are a 23% win rate, and we're looking at the Thunder as a 5 or 6 seed, like a playoff lock, I think that's going to tilt the scales in the favor of Chet. Chet, because he's contributing directly to a winning team. But it'll be fun. I think it's going to be over like by December again, because like if Victor keeps this up, he'll just build momentum that can't be undone. All right, the last one, I think it was mine to you, and it is the 76ers hot start is blank. You muted yourself, I believe.
Yep, I did. My bad. It is exciting. It's exciting. Damn it, I'll get it right. I'm sorry. I said I was going to. Exciting because I think Embiid is going to do any and everything that he can to show that he wasn't the reason why they lost last year. Had he not gotten injured, they would have been in the NBA Finals. And I think without him having to tag along with James Harden, he can pull that team up and say, look, just get on my back. Let me carry us to a championship. He's got to prove it now, because that window in Philly, I know this is another, I just said it earlier, it's closing and whatnot, but it's getting there. It's inching, and the process has traded away every superstar that is, can't call them all superstar, but all the stars that have gotten to Philly with Embiid have gone away. It's Tyrese Maxey as Robin right now. It's Joel Embiid as Batman with Tobias and Kelly Oubre and Batum, a couple of other guys. The Anthony Melton plays. Like they got to use that core to just try to get to that 1 or 2 seed this year and just ride the wave into the NBA, into the playoffs.
I was gonna say the 76ers hot start is unnerving to Milwaukee, because this is the 76ers. We all thought about the East. It's like Boston, Milwaukee. Who else? And you know what? I don't think this is a fluke by the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey's that dude. He's really good. Embiid's obviously MVP. And if you think back before the Harden trade, this team was a 3 seed ish. I don't know exactly, but they were like it's 4-3 seed before James Harden arrived. Now you give Tyrese Maxey a few years to mature, learn the point guard position. He's only going to get better as the season goes on. And guess what? They just traded Harden. They got a couple more picks that if they decide we're in a really good spot to strike, find a team that's just like, screw it, we're folding. Talk to the Bulls. Talk to some of these teams out west. Talk to, who are you pointing at me?
Because that was the first name that got brought up when I was talking with somebody else about if they get to if Philly gets to the trade deadline, it needs to be a buyer. There's a guy out in Chicago, last name Levine, that may get on up out of there.
Levine, talk to Toronto. If they don't get off to a good start, they got a guy in Pascal Siakam they don't know what they want to do with. There are options. And if the 76ers feel like they're in a good spot, if they're in the 2-3 seed, come the deadline, why not make an aggressive move now to go for that? And the Bucks, man, like for all the hype with the Dame trade, they've looked real shaky to start the season. Their defense is not the same defense. Brook Lopez took a major step back. We all thought that with Drew Holiday leaving, their backcourt defense would get worse. It did. So, I think the Bucks saw this situation and said, hey, we'll be a top 2 seed. But at this point, it's like, man, you got to get your shit together or the 76ers could come for your stuff.
Yeah. The Bucks are a team that I think can afford to just get to the 3 or 4 seed. They got one of, at times, the best player in the NBA in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I know Dame isn't a proven winner when it comes to like NBA finals and whatnot. Yeah, he's gotten the team on his own to the Western Conference Finals, but that's just like a flashy toy to have when you got Giannis. They just need to get to the playoffs because that team, whether they're 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed, is going to be a problem to deal with in a 7-game series, especially now that we know that people shrink the court for Giannis. So they didn't get Dame for them to win 50, 55 games in regular season. They got Dame so that when the playoffs start, you can't box in everybody in paint. Because if you do, that dude's pulling from half court. If you don't, Giannis is driving down the court. So I'm not really worried about the 76ers unnerving the Bucks with this one.
I think at this point, though, the Bucks have shown that they need to be absolutely deadly on the offensive end because Brook Lopez, who was, I think, like a top 3 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know where he went, but he's fallen off. And again, replacing Drew Holiday with Dame definitely puts you back. I think the big thing is, like, is Chris Middleton going to be the Chris Middleton of what was it, 2021, 2020, 2020?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be more? Yeah, or is he going to be more of like what we saw last year, of just kind of hobbled and not the same guy? So we'll see. Good basketball segment, but it's time to make some money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, it's our weekly gambling segment. We started with the parlays. That was fun, but we were bad at the parlays.
Yeah, this is why we gotta just stick to just team betting, because if we just go, I mean, it might be a little bit easier now, but like, CJ Stroud's gonna go off for 600 yards. Like, I'd take that one 100%. If I'm gonna win $1 million on betting $5 if CJ Stroud goes off for 500 yards, I'm taking that bet. Why not?
I love your gambling strategy because you're always like, why are you playing plus 100? Play plus 2,000 or some crazy shit.
Look, I saw somebody, I know that it was like a 10-leg parlay, whatever, but they put down $3 and they won like $750,000. Now, I don't know how often they're doing these $3 bets, but if they had betting in North Carolina, I would 100% be doing those. Reason being is I spend $30 at McDonald's. Just don't go to McDonald's and just potentially win $1 million by betting on these 10-leg parlays. That's 10 times I can make that bet.
This is why you're 7-15-2 on the season, and I am 13-11.
All right, whatever. Go ahead, start it off.
So yeah, I'm 2 games over 500. I'm gonna give you 3 picks. I'm going 3 different leagues. I like bouncing around. It worked well for me last week. My first pick will be in the association NBA. It's gonna be a weird pick. You're gonna give me a gross look for it. I am taking D's hometown Charlotte Hornets playing at home versus, you're like, the Hornets. Why would you take them? Guess what, guys? They're playing the Washington Wizards. That's why. The Wizards might be the worst team I've ever seen. They can't stop a single person. I think that every team puts up 130 against the Wizards. The Hornets actually low key aren't. I think they're 2-5, but they're not bad. I watched them play Monday night, I believe. It was either Monday or Monday or Sunday.
2-4. Just give you that.
2-4 against the Mavericks. They almost beat the Mavericks. LaMelo Ball started really, really slow, but the past 2 games he's really turned it on. He had a 24-point fourth quarter in his last game against the Mavericks. I think they're going to start ticking up. It's only a 3.5 point spread, so you're giving up 3.5 points. The way the Wizards let you score, they can actually absolutely cover that. They're at home. I'm loving the Hornets. That's tomorrow on Wednesday. My next pick, I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to a team that, while they lost the past 2 weeks, they've covered. They've covered the spread. Vegas is always a little bit down on this team. My hometown team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1.5 point favorites at home against the Titans. I'm not buying all the Will Levis hype. He's still a rookie. That Tampa Bay defense is still really good. I think Tampa Bay covers 1.5. So far, 2 bets. Are you with me on these 2 bets?
You know, I was actually laughing about the Hornets one, and then I looked at what the Wizards actually have. They gave up 140, 120, 130, and 120 in the last 4 games. Yeah. My goodness, that's terrible. It's the Jordan Poole experience, baby. But this new one that you have with the Bucks, I honestly looked at it and I was like, home, you're getting points, but they're just coming off of a loss to a rookie. Yeah, but they're giving 1.5, but they just came off to losing to a rookie. And I'm not saying that Will Levis is on the same plane as CJ Stroud, but it's just the expect the unexpected. Who knows how they'll actually be ready to play up against them.
You're talking like it was a loss to get their ass beat. It was a back and forth dual against.
They went back. No, I get it. Came down literally to the last minute, 2 touchdowns in 60 seconds. What I'm saying is, I think I understand the bet, but I think Will Levis is doing what, I don't know, Ryan Tannehill couldn't do. He's throwing the ball to D-Hop. So that's a game changer in itself.
All right, so the first 2 I feel pretty good about. I actually might bet those 2 myself. The last one, I feel like it might be a sneaky good one, but also I might be dead ass wrong. Going college football, I'm getting 14.5 points. I'm getting a lot of points here. I'm taking the U plus 14.5 against in-state rival Florida State. I know Miami's looked bad the past couple weeks, but hear me out. It's a rivalry game. It is a huge game to these kids. Miami should have talent at the very least. They're not executing. And in Florida State, we've all questioned them a little bit. Miami has 0 losses by this amount. I mean, that's a big spread. I don't think Miami wins this. Hear me out. But 14.5 is greater than 2 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a gritty game that comes down to a 1-score 7-point game, 8-point game, or something like that. 14.5 is just way too much for me.
Yeah, you lost me at Miami versus Florida State. This hasn't been a rivalry in the last 10 years. You might think of this be like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, but Florida State in the last, I think, 10 or 15 matchups has won 12 of them. No. This is going to be an absolute ass kicking. Big shout out to JA up north. Travis, Jordan Travis, he's going to dominate this game. I think it's Trevor or Travis Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dyke was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback into this year's draft. Has done absolutely nothing. So if there was a game that I was you might miss this one, that's the one. The 14.5. Maybe if you got 20,
that's a lot of points, man. Backdoor cover.
It doesn't matter, man. I think Miami's gonna get the doors blown off of them in this game. I think Florida State needs to flex their muscles for them to stay in the top 4 when it comes to the.
You think they stay undefeated all season?
Yes.
You do. All
I
right.
do. I think the team that would have made it harder for them to win would have been Clemson. They don't play them unless they get to the ACC championship.
I think personally, I'm going to bet on my gambling account Miami plus the points, and then a little sprinkle, like a couple bucks on money line, because I think that this has an opportunity to be like a horrible upset game and ruin Florida State's season.
I'm not saying that they can't, but I'm just telling you that they won't. Not only will they not, but this is going to be to me, I think it's going to be an ass kicking. I'll watch it because you're betting on them, and I can obviously talk shit to a couple guys up north that root for the U. But no, I don't think that's I'm sorry, man. I think that's a terrible bet.
All right, well, you tell me what good bets are, Mister.
All right, let me go ahead and pull up mine real quick. I'm gonna start with the NFL with the Shield. This one was not gonna lie, it was kind of tough for me to pick these, but I think it's gonna have me locked into it. I know that you're getting the points, and you might have given talk shit about how he's looked, but them dogs, man, Deshaun Watson has played pretty decent. I'm gonna go with the Browns +6 against Baltimore. Reason being, I wasn't expecting a ding on that one, but what reason being, I think the Browns are legit. I think they're a good team. Deshaun Watson, yeah, we joked around saying that he's not the same and they're better without him, but like he played decent this past week. He's getting the ball to Amari Cooper. They have decent running backs, so I think they're going to control the ground game, and their defense is good enough to not stop Lamar Jackson because like they're playing unbelievable. But I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying I'm taking the points. I think this would be a 24-20 game, 21-27, something like that. 21-24. Let me say that 20-24. Those
I like that.
types of games. I don't think that they'll win, but 6 points is a lot of points, especially for these two teams. This is an interdivision game.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I think everyone's really high on the Ravens because they looked amazing last week, and they're 7-2 now.
Yeah, 7-2.
Everyone's big on the Ravens now. That Browns defense is so good, dude. Myles Garrett's unreal, and I thought about that one. I just didn't go because I don't like Deshaun Watson. I can't bet with Deshaun.
Don't bet with your emotions.
And the one thing to say, like you're like, oh, Deshaun Watson look good, bro. He's looked good against two teams, the Cardinals and the Titans.
But hey, he's just coming off of how he looked against last week. Look, they don't need Deshaun. This might be the best quarterback that the Browns have had situational wise in like 50 years. They don't need him. Who?
If you could just take like 1 year sample size, rookie Baker was better.
All right, next page. What I'm saying is Deshaun Watson doesn't have to go out there and throw for 304 touchdowns. 200, 250 ground control game, let your defense win. He's in that area when it comes to the way that the Browns are set up right now. Second game I'm gonna go with just because I'm really high on this team and I don't understand why it's such a close matchup. We keep seeing that the Chargers aren't the Chargers, but I'm going with the Lions. I'm giving 2.5. I know they're on the road, but Jared Goff coming off a bye, I think this is going to be a huge game for them. I think they're getting Amon-Ra St. Brown back. We saw Jahmyr Gibbs explode right before the bye week. Like they have weapons. They have weapons. They have a decent defense. I think Aiden Hutchinson gets in the backfield a couple of times, and it disrupts Justin Herbert. I really think that the Lions are able to cover this one, if not winning by 3, but they could probably win by like a touchdown in this one.
Who are they playing? The Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers on the road.
And I will say with the Chargers or the Rams on the road, that home field advantage isn't very good. I think I watched the Rams and Steelers play, and there were more Steelers fans in that arena than Rams fans.
There's no actual LA Chargers fans. They just happen to be in Los Angeles and they have a football team. So I think the Lions will travel well with that. The Lions look good. So I really do trust that team. The last 4 games that they had, last 5 games that they had, win by 12 against Vegas. They lost to Baltimore. We know how good Baltimore is, obviously. They won 20-6 Bucks, 42-24 Carolina, 34-20 against Green Bay. So they put up points. And it's not like the Chargers have a great defense. Ravens do, but the Chargers don't.
Last pick.
I'm going to the association. I'm 1-0 when I choose this team, so I'm hoping that I get a little bit of love from them. But I'm picking the Celtics to cover at 2.5. It actually changed. It was 1.5 when I took this bet, and now it's 2.5. So it changed literally like that. I'm still sticking with it because I don't have time to find a new one. But yeah, I think they cover with this one. It was 1.5, and I was like, no, they win by free throws at the end at least.
What's the opponent and where are you?
76ers tomorrow night. Sorry, 76ers Thursday.
It's at 76ers.
Yeah, at Philly. It was 1.5 when we started the show. It's 2.5 now.
That should be a fun matchup.
Yep.
I would not touch that matchup, but I like it. I like the ballsiness. I mean, they've been fantastic all season, the Celtics.
Yeah, well, the reason why I took it looked appetizing because of 1.5. You don't really win too many games by one, but you do win by 3 when it comes to last second free throws, and that's where I was kind of angling at that one. They hit a last second shot, Philly misses, Philly fouls, and they win by 3. That's where I was going, but 2.5 is like fuck. But I'm gonna stick with it just because I'm not gonna change up the bet.
Yeah, I feel like if I was betting that game, I'd probably go money line and not the spread. But we
I don't know
were
what money line is.
money line is just to win. But
Okay,
you're giving up money on the back end.
gotcha.
You're-
No,
you
give me the points.
you want the points? All right, good stuff. I know all about all those money line stuff. I ended up chasing today. I was on Porto. I was betting UEFA Championship, Champions League soccer. That's when you know it's like maybe I should stop.
Go home, man. Just go home and start betting.
uh, All right, we're gonna finish off with just a little bit of football, a little recap around the league. It's kind of like very unstructured. We're gonna go wherever, but I'm gonna tee up some music for the people to get us going.
Let's get it.
All right, D, where do you want to get us going?
I'm gonna kick it off with the game for me. Won't say game of the week, but like a defining game for the NFL, and that was Chiefs Dolphins all the way out in Frankfurt, right, Germany.
Yes. By the way,
Gotcha.
on-air discussion.
Mhm.
We should totally have with this music a weekly recap of you just like being like and like just like boom like just recapping all the games like real quick.
I'll
That'd
do
be
my
dope.
best. Yeah, I don't mind that. Good idea. I like it. No, for this one though, I think we saw the Chiefs flex their muscles when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Hey, he's raising himself into an area where he doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes to get wins. This defense is incredible. This defense is showing how strong they are against a very, very good offensive team in the Miami Dolphins. Offensive. I'm not saying team, saying offensive team. And what I
How
mean
have
by
they performed offensively versus any teams with a winning record? Let me ask you that.
yes, I'm not. Let me finish my segment. Damn, bro. Let me go over this. But what I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes was 20 for 30, 180, and I think 2 touchdowns, but no interceptions. He played the game. His defense. He went up 21-0. His defense was able to. His defense was able to close it out. The Dolphins, on the other hand, they're flirting with that danger area that I was talking about, not being concerned. It's getting kind of nerve-wracking that they're not able to beat teams that have a winning record. And that's you play the playoffs, everybody's got a winning, damn near everybody got a winning record, especially if you're not the 1 seed, and they're not going to be the 1 seed. So that was a tough display of just not looking like them, right? It wasn't a very good game output for the Dolphins. Good news is they're still 6-3. So, we'll see where they actually finish. They could still win that division because of what's happening in Buffalo.
I feel like I smell a little bit of fraud, a little fraud alert here with the Miami Dolphins. I'm just saying, man, no wins against good teams. We all were like, oh, we put 70 points. Oh my God, against the Broncos. But when you play your real opponent, it's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, granted, hey, Eagles, Bills, which I don't know about the Bills, Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs this week, really, really top tier opponents. But I will say this. They went down 21-0 at halftime. I'm like, this shit is over. But guess what? They fought their ass back in the game. They had a chance to win it at the end. By the way, what a lame way to end the game with that fumble by 2 off the hands. Well, it was just like a bad handling of the snap.
It wasn't even a bad snap. It just wasn't at his chest. It was like a little bit to his right. And I was like, you got to catch that, man. But I think there was just so much going on. End of the game, snap, trying to throw the pass, whatever. He muffed that one.
All right, what else you got for me? Just keep
second one. Yeah, second one. I'm going with, I got to give props where props is due. I'm going, I think it was Texans versus the Bucks. And this isn't even to just, shit on the Bucks by no means. Look, this kid, CJ Stroud, looks incredible. he might be having one of the best rookie quarterback seasons we have ever seen. Like, I believe his numbers were, let me get this right, 30 for 42, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions, and then a 54-second drive for the win. That is like incredible as a rookie. He looks calm back there. He's got no name receivers that he's throwing to when it comes to Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, who got cut from the Cowboys, Tank Dell, rookie out of nowhere, Nico Collins. The biggest name is somebody that doesn't even play that much, and that's John Mechie III. It's because he went to Alabama. So, like, what he's doing with that team, to me, absolutely incredible. Big shouts to the Bucks because Baker did something I wasn't expecting, which was scoring that touchdown to give them the lead. But he just apparently gave CJ Stroud too much time because he went down there and got the game winner. Like, it was so methodical. Like, drop back, first down, drop back, first down, drop back, big play, drop back, touchdown. It's like, good God, that's Brady-esque. And I'm not calling him Brady, but he was just like, I don't care what situation we're in, we're winning this game.
I think you're not giving enough credit to the receivers there in Houston. I think Nico Collins has like a top 10 or so separation rate on routes in the league. Like
he's like 6'5", but yes,
these dudes in the in this Texan receiving core. I know they're not big names, but they might be really, really good guys. What's the vibe out there in North Carolina with the them not getting Stroud but going for Bryce Young instead, who looks not great right now?
I don't think anybody's concerned because of what's surrounding Carolina. Adam Thielen, that's about it. He doesn't have a running back. He doesn't really have a number one receiver.
Yeah, there's no buyer's remorse there though at all.
Yeah, no, because like at the end of the day, you still need. Carolina knows that they're rebuilding, and I don't think Houston was. And Houston needed a quarterback. They were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, so like they just needed a quarterback to get them over some type of hump. The Panthers have been rebuilding since Cam left, so I think there's just a completely different vibe as to where the teams are. I'm not saying that CJ couldn't do what he's doing in Carolina, but I think Bryce would be a little bit more successful if he were in Houston.
Fair enough. Any other games that got you going?
Yeah, last one for me is because, hey man, we said this last week and it's showing its ugly head now. The AFC should be petrified that QB1 is starting to look like QB1. And by that, I mean Joe Burrow. Look, man, them Bengals look great on offense. Their defense is starting to click. They made Josh Allen look mid. Not only did they make him look mid, they took away their running game. They couldn't do anything. And the Bengals, or Joey going out there being able to do what he did, is scary, man. They're getting hot at the right time, post that bye, and whoo! Hey, man, look out. Look out. That's going to be a very good division to watch for the rest of the season. Browns, Bengals, and Ravens.
I think the Ravens are minus like 150 or 160 to win that division.
Oh, I lost you. You froze again. Hopefully you come back soon. But at the moment, you frozen like I'm watching a Disney movie. You frozen like the tundra we talking about football. But you're back.
I was saying if you missed what I was saying.
Missed everything because you were frozen.
Okay. Yeah, Ravens are minus 160 to win the division. Do you think anyone could challenge them realistically?
Yeah, realistically, the Bengals. Just because it's going to be a tail end type of season for them. But I think the Bengals, it's their division to lose. So I don't think that it's something that like they have to really stress about. But if there is a team, it's going to be the Bengals.
Speaking of the Bills, right now, last time I checked, I think it was yesterday, they're about even money either way. So like minus 110 on prop to make the playoffs. Yes or no? Minus 110, yes. Minus 110, no. So it's like the sports books have it as like a 50-50. Would you place money on either side of that bet?
Yeah, they make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs as the secondary wild card team.
So you're saying yes, you would take that bet and make playoffs?
Yeah, I don't think they miss the playoffs. I don't think they're the 1 seed. I don't think they win the division, but I think they make the playoffs.
Nice. All right, let's hit up the last segment, closing takes, and let's get the hell out of here.
The show is coming to an end. But first, it's time to get to anything we've missed. It's closing time. 1 segment, 2 takes. Now go.
That's right. It's time for us to get our last shots in before the end of the podcast. It's almost like it's our Jordan Poole time. It's time to just. It doesn't matter if they're good or not. We're just taking them. I want to start with something that you missed, and I'm very disappointed when you got your football segment off. You didn't mention a name, man. You didn't mention a Josh Dobbs who deserves some fucking love today and respect. That man did. We all knew the Arizona Cardinals were dog shit, but that man kept them competitive all year, and I think that's why they traded him away because they're like, "Hey, man, this kid's gonna screw up our Caleb Williams pick if we keep him around. We need to get him the hell out of here." They sent him to Minnesota. This man gets there on Friday or whatever day he gets there. Doesn't even know anyone's name. He's like, "Hey, I'm Josh. By the way, you're starting because our other quarterback got hurt." Okay, man, only leads you to a winning drives, wins the game for the Vikings, and like this dude, like I'm just so happy for him because at this point, for what he's done, filling in, almost getting the Titans, I think, to the playoffs a couple years ago, or was it last year? He filled in the last game where the Titans could have made it to the playoffs. Played very well for the Arizona Cardinals, filling out of nowhere for the Vikings. Like this dude has established himself as a guy that if you want a high-end backup quarterback or maybe just like a low-end starter, he's going to be in the league for a very long time now. And for what he what he did this Sunday with the Vikings was so damn impressive. What I heard apparently was happening was like literally as he's scanning the field, the offensive coordinator's in his ear trying to break down what the play call means. He doesn't even know the playbook yet, and he's still finding ways to get it done. Incredible.
Yeah, man. I went back and forth with who to give my closing takes props to. Josh Dobbs was on that list for it, so I'm glad you were able to do it. No, I heard a stat that was incredible. 4 teams in 3 years for him. He's a journeyman, but like he might be the new Tyrod Taylor. He's not going to be a,
He'll start here or there.
Exactly. He's going to be a team that gets you wins if your starter gets hurt. And there's nothing wrong with that. The backup quarterback position is the best position in all of sports. You get paid almost like a starter, but you don't play. And when you play, if you lose, we still booze. But when we win, you get the game ball because people are like, yo, you came in. He was taking snaps with the center like he was in high school. I don't know if you saw that, but they were like, yo, come over here. Like they had to go back to like the cadence snaps. Like, where is that? Like, where is it? Like he was practicing with the center what his cadence was. Like it just brought me back to like that's some Pop Warner shit. And this is still a sport. This is a kid's game.
I wanted to bet you, and I did bet you the Vikings will make the playoffs, and I'm like, oh shit, it's over because we lost Kirk Cousins. Guess what, baby? We're back.
That's back on. I think that was a lot of hype. A lot of hype. Kudos to where kudos is deserved, and just like you're giving a shouts to, to Josh Dobbs.
By the way, before I get off the Josh Dobbs thing,
my bad.
Did you know what he studied in college?
Isn't he like a rocket scientist?
Aerospace engineering.
He's like a literal rocket scientist.
That's my fucking guy.
So, like, if anybody ever says, like, this ain't fucking rocket science, like, he could be like, oh, yeah, I know. Hey, let me learn this. Like, he has that, like, trump card to anybody that ever brings that up in, like, in a setting, which is hilarious.
All right. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. I think we're in the land of praise. Usually it's the land of hate, but I'm going to go with my boy out in LV, the Vegas area. I'm going with Antonio Pierce. I'm going to give this guy some absolute credit for the way that they just got Josh McDaniels the hell up out of there. They fired him at 1:00 in the morning because they didn't want anybody to know about it. Like they just like, hey man, just get out of here. And the first thing smoking. Antonio Pierce was on that Super Bowl team that the Giants won against the Patriots. So like, I love seeing football players get jobs when it comes to coaching because they've been there before, not some tight ass dude that's never played a snap in his entire career. But for them to go out there, I know it was against the Giants. They played inspired. They got a quarterback that nobody knows in Aiden McConnell. So like Aiden O'Connell, Devontae Adams was hyped. Like when they told him that, Antonio Pierce was a week away from saying, "Get me the hell up out of here." And now he's like, "Yo, let's go. This is my coach. I'm vouching for him."
It's 1 week. We'll see how
Yeah,
he's
I understand that, but like it's still a good moment to have. His first win as a coach is 30-6.
By
They blew
the way,
doors off of the Giants. Although
by the way,
ACL injury didn't look good for Danny Dimes.
I gotta look up the spread, but the Giants are playing someone this week. And
Yeah,
it was
says they're
like a
getting smoked by
16 and a half point spread. I've never in professional football seen a spread that big.
I think it's the Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys 16 and a half. Because I looked at that, I was like, look, man, it's a lot of points, but they just got smacked by 24. So I'm not taking that either way. I'm staying away from that game because I looked at it, I was like, oh, nice, that's a lot of points, and I was like, nah, man, I'm good. But no, big shouts to Antonio Pierce. Again, it is only one game, but just like you're saying with Josh Dobbs, blah 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 blah. Great. I'm gonna say same thing for Antonio Pierce, man. It's still good to lead 53 men to a dub, especially with the win like that.
Is there anything more? Like, I feel like if you're a Las Vegas franchise, the only correct way to fire someone is at 1 a.m. in the morning or later. That just feels right for Las Vegas.
I mean, most people would be at the casino. They look at it on the ticker. They'll be like, "Yo, McDaniels got fired." Red on 26. Yeah, 100 on red. Like, let's just get back to it. And that's probably exactly what happened around there. Because, like, when we woke up the next morning, we were all like, McDaniels got fired. But then, like, we were just on to, like, the next topic of, maybe Aaron Rodgers is back to playing in 3 weeks. And it's like, all right, cool. So, like, they didn't even care.
Can we stop with that, please? He's not going to play.
He's doing the same thing that he did a couple of years ago with his collarbone. Like, everybody wanted him to come back, and he's doing what he wants. He's getting exactly what he wants.
Attention.
Us still talking about him in the regular season. Just let Zach Wilson do what he's doing. Zach Wilson isn't really playing bad, by the way. He's not playing incredibly great. Like he's, a top 10, 15 quarterback, but he's not losing them their games. So why not? Just let the boy play. Let the man play. Let the man grow.
I'm just so tired of Aaron Rodgers. He's such an attention whore. It's just annoying.
Yeah, he definitely is.
All right, dude. It's been a fun show. I feel like that was a quick, efficient show, but it was a fun show nonetheless.
We weren't vibing with nature, but we were definitely very efficient. So we'll say it's efficiency, my high efficiency rating.
The word of the day, the Frizz and the Grizz podcast was
efficient. Love it. All right, man. Fellas, ladies, anybody that's listening. Ooh, what are you doing? Stop pressing buttons.
I had it. Thanks for joining. But we're not being sure.
Yes, we're not beginning shortly. We're ending, but let's get up out of here. Please, when you guys are listening in tomorrow, or if you're watching us live today, hit us up on all of our socials. We got Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. One of these days, we're going to get some type of TikTok or Instagram. Maybe not. But we do have a website. You can visit us, frizzandthegrizz.com. You can definitely get some gear on there.
Yeah.
No gear, no sweatshirts, no hoodies, no beanies for the winter season coming out. Unfortunately, one of these days we'll be able to do that. But my producer says we have a budget and we waste it all on betting. Please make sure when y'all are with us, y'all take care of y'all mentals. Make sure you take care of y'all physicals. Take care of y'all chicken. Take care of y'all children. And we'll catch y'all on the rebound. Be safe out there, players.
They got a website that you can hire girlfriends for the day.